This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It is a freaking Tuesday. I had to think about that as I was saying. My days are all fucked up. I'm sorry. I don't even know why. It's not like we had a holiday or anything. I think it's still from where I fell asleep and didn't do a show Thursday next week. Thursday of next week. Thursday of last week. But, I have a special treat tonight. I've got a preview clip of a little video that's just now up on my YouTube. Producer Dave and I ventured over to Benjamin Martin's live stream. Dave dubbed him Maskless Moses. He is a dumb fuck right-winger. I have a couple of different interactions with him up on the YouTube. I've got a little preview clip I'm going to play here in just a second. What a wild show we have for you. We're going to hear from Mary Trump about what she thinks is going to happen with Donald Trump's taxes. Do you want me to rant about Biden? I mean, pick a topic, I'll rant about Biden. I'm fucking pissed off. First of all, it was supposed to be $2,000 checks out the door just as soon as 2 senators were elected, and that didn't happen. Now they're calling it $1,400 checks, and even then, we're coming up on the fucking deadline. People's benefits are going to run out the second week of March, and Democrats are dragging their asses. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. What do you want to rant about Biden about? I've got other things. You want to get me on another topic? I've got some things to praise him on too. Neera Tanden is trash. It doesn't look like she's going to make it through. I wouldn't say all of his picks are trash though. I never can remember her. Fuck. The Interior Secretary pick. She was a Standing Rock protester. So that pick for Interior Secretary. The Health and Human Services pick is a Medicare for All supporter. That's encouraging. But yeah, Neera Tanden is shit, but it doesn't look like she's going to make it through. Now, I know a lot of people on the left are bashing the squad for not bucking on Neera Tanden. But it doesn't seem that the progressives needed to expend any energy taking Neera Tanden down, as the right wing is doing it for them. Jay's Bay, what's going on? You're right wing. Why would anybody be right wing? I'm dying to know. Would you like to talk to me? I take calls, I do Discord, or you can just keep commenting. Please stick with us. I want to know why anyone considers themselves right wing. Oh, cool. I was going to come to the table in good faith. But eventually I probably would have said right-wingers are morons. You can get the shirt from the FREAKIN shop at the link below. As I promised a few minutes ago, I have a short clip I'm going to play. The full video is up on my YouTube. Go check it out. Links down in the description. This was me last night going on with Maskless Moses, Benjamin Martin. He's an anti-mask activist from California. You talked about mental disorders, but yet you're like, we'll pray for somebody. You think you can telepathically communicate with a deity, and you have the audacity to say somebody else has a mental disorder. For the love of God.
Well, there's
self-awareness.
Have you eaten?
I love that dude's face. I wanted them to let me back on with him because he sat there with just his mouth agape the entire fucking time. I want to be like, Sam, close your mouth. when I first came on with them, they were talking about this flag. Apparently, this Philip dude is going to give this wall decor or whatever the fuck you want to call it. It looks like a live, laugh, love kind of piece of artwork for small dick little dick having right wingers. So he's supposed to give this to Ben, and Ben's going to put this up behind him. So that they were talking about that as I was coming on, and I wanted to be like, I've got a flag behind me. It says right wingers are morons, but I also didn't want to get kicked off right away, and it was like too dark behind me. I have no clue why I showed up so dark on his, and so I don't like the way I'm cropped and shit. So, thank you, Merkin. You can check out the whole 16-minute video up on my YouTube. Link in the description. Apparently, he does this Man Up Monday every Monday night. I'm going to keep popping in. If you're a patron, you can check out another clip of me with Ben Martin. Every time has been a hoot. Apparently, he likes me. Because just as soon as I popped in the room, he's like, oh, it's Justin Freakin. Producer Dave also makes a appearance from Echoplex Media. Dave pops in, like, you's a bitch. They were stunned. Okay, so I've got something in the tank. I'm gonna go on, like, I think I have a just whopper I can lay on Ben, and I can set a trap for him. Walk him right into it. I've been thinking on it. I'm gonna pull that out next Monday. See if Ben can man up. I'll tell you who else was stunned. The DC police chief.
We're coming out
on the day of the Capitol insurrection. So this is from the hearings today about the response from DC police and Capitol Police.
in intelligence reports that groups like the Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, others that were engaged.
Okay. Also, let me ask you, since I've got Winch in here, she knows the answer to this for sure. Is Maskless Moses a name that Dave gave him, or does he call himself that? I just assumed that was a nickname that Dave gave him, but I don't know that to be fact. You did. Oh, you came up with the name Maskless. Have you called him that to his face? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Has he heard your nickname for him? He found you calling him that on Reddit? Or he found other people, like, running with your nickname? I'd love it. I'd adopt it. Does he have a t-shirt that says Maskless Moses? Because he had that t-shirt that said, love your face, hashtag burn your mask? Oh, he would hate it if he knew that. You could tell that he has a disdain for women by the way he talked to you. Just the moment you had the audacity to laugh at him, he just shut down immediately. And it wasn't even like Winch didn't laugh at him. She just kind of like didn't take him seriously. And he fucking shut down. I bet there's some mommy issues there, for sure. As if I'm one to talk. I was a mama's boy for a while. I loved on this, like, right before I popped into his chat, you said I'm not high enough for this shit. Because I watched Media Winch watching me earlier today. Because I wanted to see what everybody in the chat said. And I love that Winch was like, I'm not high enough for this shit. Goddamn right. Google says that right wing think private companies should be allowed to work on their own, but left wing don't. Do you know what this means? I guess if you consider the delineation of right and left to be the ownership of property, whether, the further right you get is the more private property, further left you get is the more public property. So if you were all the way to the left side of the spectrum, you are going to be advocating for the abolishment of private property. That would put you all the way at the left side of the spectrum. Now, nobody in American politics is advocating for the abolishment of private property. All economies are mixed economies. There's no pure capitalism. There's no pure socialism. Never existed. All economies are on this scale somewhere. And the conversation is about, what the government provides to people, the safety net. It really seems like we have determined over the course of especially the last century that the government's responsibility is to provide. Other countries have proven that it's healthcare, education, some semblance of a safety net. If you go back and really study the Great Depression and the New Deal politics coming out of the Great Depression, I think that would be a good lesson to learn, to educate yourself about what is going on today. The crash of the market in 1929 was very much facilitated by the same kind of hyper right-wing politics, the capitalism, laissez-faire economics, as they were pushing for back then. Is the same basic principles, the Reaganomics of the 80s, both leading to massive depressions. I really got off topic there. I'm not really a theory guy. I'm a news guy. He had to be dragged towards it. Indeed. We were talking about Biden and where he's been a disappointment. In terms of his cabinet picks. That's really all we can judge him on right now at the moment is cabinet picks. I understand the apprehension with Neera Tanden. I don't like her either. Nobody does on the progressive side, but like Sam Cedar especially spoke a lot about that. I think it was today's show. Only watched half of it. It might have been yesterday's show. But he's got a really good perspective on the Neera Tanden pick, and she's probably not even going to make it through. It really looks like the Republicans and Joe Manchin are going to tank her. She's not worth fighting for, so hopefully they move on. Apparently, the people that might be the picks to follow up with are a hell of a lot better than Tanden. Liberal means something different in the UK. And a lot of leftists here in America are trying to redefine liberal as what it actually means, like the neoliberal politics. George W. Bush was a neoliberal in the same sense that Bill Clinton was a neoliberal. The current right wing absolutely does oppose government regulation of private business. And the just average citizen, some of the dumb fuck right wingers I argue with on comment sections can't even tell you like why they oppose regulation. They've just had it drilled into their heads by the right wing propaganda outlets that they're supposed to be against government is standing in the way of business, blah, 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 blah. But I asked one of them one time, like, hey, we've had 40 years of deregulation and tax cuts, and you agree that there's something fucked up in the country right now. So maybe it's the 40 years of deregulation and tax cuts. No. He told me, he had the audacity to tell me that no, it was government. Government was too much in the way the last 40 years. The Democrats have to be drug kicking and screaming into anything. We, the popular sentiment in the country, have to drag the Democrats to do any fucking thing. That's because of their corporate donors. Trump has declared himself the presumptive 2024 nominee. As of right now, he's right. I don't think Trump has a shot at 2024 because of finances. I think he is going to be bankrupt sooner than later. He has a lot of legal cases he is going to be fighting off over the next couple years. I don't think he's going to be in a position to run by 2024. I could be wrong, though. And if there's justice in the world, he's in jail before then. I don't think there's justice in the world, so I don't hold out hope. The Dems absolutely are right-wing. Joe Biden is a right-wing president. That's why I get so upset with my conservative friends. They're trying to paint Biden as some far-left socialist. Dude, he is, if you look at the political compass, Biden's right in the middle of the right side. Not in the middle of the entire spectrum, in the middle of the right. And that's the reason why the Democrats wanted to pick him, because he's unoffensive to right-wingers, supposedly. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter, because the right-wingers are going to say whatever the fuck. They've gotten into this in the last 10, 15 fucking years. Their media system has just, it's grown into this monster, and I don't even think they can control it anymore. You see, Fox is having a hard time holding on to their viewers because they're not far enough right. Is it true that Trump actually did good things for the U.S. financially? I want to be as fair as answering this as I can. Probably not. I'm trying to think if there is something that I can give him some credit for. I will agree with Merkin on it. For short sellers, his buddies, the people that want to really, he even fucking came out and said it that one time. There's a financial terminology like priming the pump or whatever. And it was like he just fucking learned it. And he said it 3 or 4 different times in one of the speeches. The tax cuts, horrendous. Especially for us. All of his policies, you would have to say that financially, did he do good things? That's relative to who you are. For us, as in me as a poor person. I'm comfortable enough to eat well and afford some nice equipment, but I'm a poor person. I'm assuming if you're watching this stream, you are also a poor person. I consider poor people to be anyone making under, $200,000 a year. We're all in this class struggle together. Now, I'm well aware that someone making over $100,000 a year is no. I'm in a different tax bracket. Yes, you are. My apologies for that. The U.S. puts all the tax burden on a very specific group that live comfortably but aren't extremely wealthy. And the extremely wealthy do not pay their share. All right. So we had the Senate hearings about the response to the attack on January 6th today. This is the D.C. police chief talking about
So we're looking
how
at,
she was stunned about the lack of response from the National Guard.
Reports that groups like the Oath Keepers, Proud Boys, others that were engaged, these violent extremist groups, which we clearly need to collect more intelligence on. It'll be the subject of another hearing that we will do regarding this. But if you look at what the DOJ is now prosecuting, 200 federal cases The FBI has linked at least 40 to extremist groups, 59 to other defendants that have...
This is a lot of right-wingers wanted to downplay the involvement of white supremacists. Today's hearings
This is
absolutely
clearly
drove home the involvement of neo-Nazi groups, white nationalists.
Have more information about these groups that were coming here planning, and usually you leave a trail when you're planning. Either that or you're real sophisticated using encrypted devices and other things, but those are things that we're going to have to be looking at. Clearly, the National Guard presence was critical. I know you're going to get a lot of questions related to that, but Chief Conte, in my remaining time, just a question. Yeah, and you mentioned this in your testimony, but in an earlier statement, Chief, you stated that you were stunned by quote, the tepid response of the Army officials.
There was an armed insurrection on the Capitol on January the 6th
assistance while the violent siege was
to try to stop the counting of the electoral
clearly, here we got a
votes.
coordinated attack. All of you saw this immediately the way they were doing. I can imagine the conversations with the National Guard. And Chief, you were stunned by the tepid response. Could you clarify that and tell us exactly how those conversations went?
You want to talk about somebody who was stunned by the tepid response? I was sitting here on stream watching the right-wingers breaking down the front door of the Capitol live. I was stunned. That was the only thing I could say all that day was like, I can't believe there's no cops beating their skulls in.
Yeah, so just after, sometime after 2:00 p.m., I had left the west front of the Capitol after initially being at the scene, assessing what was going on, looking at just how violent, looking at the violent actions that were taking place. Shortly thereafter, there was a phone call that was convened between several officials. Chief Son was on the call, literally pleading there were several Army officials that were on the call. I don't know all by name who were on the call. Several officials from district government that were on the scene. Chief Son was pleading for the deployment of the National Guard. And in response to that, there was not an immediate yes. The National Guard is responding. Yes, the National Guard is on the way. Yes.
Because Trump was blocking that response.
To respond. The response was more asking about the plan. What was the plan for the National Guard? The response was more focused on, in addition to the plan, the optics, how this looks with boots on the ground on the Capitol. And in my response to that was simply, I was just stunned that, I have officers that were out there literally fighting for their lives. And, we're kind of going through, what seemed like an exercise to really check the boxes. And there was not an immediate response. When I asked specifically, Chief Son, was he requesting the National Guard, and was that request being denied? The response was no. We're not. From the U.S. Department of the Army was no. We're not denying the request. But they were concerned. They did have concerns. So I was just stunned at that response.
So didn't deny the request, but was basically filibustering it. You can't tell me that didn't have something to do with Trump and the fact that he cleaned house, put loyalists on the Joint Chiefs in the Pentagon, and he was supported by senators like Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley, who has been accused of contributing, as this video says, complicity in the Capitol attacks for holding up the counting of the Electoral College votes. He says it's outrageous to accuse him of that.
You okay if I remove this? Is that all right? Okay. Far enough back.
So I know that you're hopping in here because
Yeah.
you're obviously a judiciary, but I
Yes.
want to know what's your reaction to this hearing today, to this review of Capitol security. I know that you just got to question them.
Yeah.
They're being kind of removed from their positions, resigning from their positions, and they're concerned that this is what the Capitol security leader will.
Well, at this point, a review needs to be done. There needs to be a very thorough review, and you could hear just in my questions lots of disputed facts. On pretty basic matters. When was the National Guard requested? They disagree about that. Was it ever actually requested? Mr. Son says yes. Mr. Irving says no. Mr. Stinger didn't testify to that point. A lot of dispute about was there delay because of input from the congressional leadership. Under the statute, the congressional leadership in an emergency doesn't need to be consulted. So whether that's the speaker, the majority leader, or the minority, anybody, they don't need to be consulted. And you have two very different views of that. So my impression is we've got a lot of basic.
It took Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Kevin McCarthy, Chuck Schumer,
the current deployment of the National
and Mike
Guard.
Pence requesting the national and going behind
about why that is. The D.C. police chief.
the back of the executive branch in order to request
a lot
that.
here of unknowns. The only other thing I would say is I had the opportunity to ask them again, or to ask them, I should say each, at the end about General Honore's comments. This is an individual that the speaker has selected to lead some sort of a review. General Honore said that both of the sergeants at arms and the Capitol Hill police were potentially complicit in the mob violence in this building on January 6th, and also took potentially complicit actions. Those are his words. There was a very strong reaction when I asked those
Interesting.
individuals if they were complicit. They said, of course not, and they said it was a stain on their honor to suggest so. And it is, in fact, a stain on the honor of the entire force that they lead. That General Honore has absolutely no business leading anything related to this. Those comments are unbelievable, totally inappropriate, and Speaker Pelosi should remove him from any sort of involvement.
Do you have plans to meet with him, or do you know if
I can't imagine he's not taking somebody out of
I certainly
context.
don't plan to meet with him personally. My view is that he's totally inappropriate. His remarks are totally inappropriate. This is not even getting to his long.
Sir, my view is you are totally
all
inappropriate.
across this country. He has called them names. He has criticized the deployment of the National Guard in security situations before. He has excused rioting and other circumstances. I mean, this is somebody who has no business leading a security review. But just to these officers to have said what they did on January 6th,
Suddenly,
complicit in an attack, I just think is unbelievable.
when did it ever seem that bad? I mean, anything next to Josh Hawley looks pretty damn good.
That's outrageous. I would say it's absolutely outrageous and an utter lie, and no one, I think, who knows any of the facts alleges any such thing.
do you regret any of your actions?
So she's asking him about his complicity in the attack.
Raising your fist like that?
No, first of all, let me just stop you right there. You call them insurrectionists. I mean, folks who I walked by when I was on my way into the House chamber were standing there peacefully behind police barricades off of the plaza of the Capitol of the United States. They have a First
My eye is twitching because of what he's saying.
Amendment right to riot, as some of them later did. But even during the House impeachment, or the House impeachment managers during impeachment last week said over and over again, protesters can protest and gather in this city. They can come and be at the Capitol. So they have every right to be there. That's perfectly
Yes.
fine. But what they cannot do
That's not what we're calling an insurrection, sir.
not do is engage in violence. What they cannot do is violate the statutes of the United States, and those who did ought to be prosecuted and go to prison.
Wait. Whoa, did you see what he just did? He's like, I do not like your use of the word insurrection. And then he just completely answered a different question. He made a statement that had nothing to do with the question about it being an insurrection or his objection of calling it an insurrection. God.
Yeah.
Right-wingers are morons.
Right. I haven't decided yet. I have some more questions that I want to ask him. I need to review also what he said to other senators yesterday. I was disappointed in a number of his answers. I was really surprised that he would refuse to commit categorically to continuing the Google antitrust prosecution. It's the most important antitrust prosecution, at least since Microsoft, maybe in half a century. I was also really surprised that he wouldn't commit to keeping illegal entry at our borders actually a crime. He was very, very cagey, did not want to commit to that, also did not want to commit to keeping the asylum protocols in place. All of that was, I thought, really surprising. He ducked a lot of questions about the Durham report. So questions that, Attorney General Barr, for instance, in
The
his
Durham report being the investigation into Trump.
All right, good to see you guys. Good to see you.
And the Obamagate allegations that Obama was spying on the campaign. I don't know why Josh Hawley finds it so insulting for it to be suggested that he might be complicit in the attack, because we keep finding out about Republicans that were complicit in the attack or actually were involved in it. Queens GOP leader who calls himself the Republican Messiah, charged in Capitol riots after being identified by Knights of Columbus jacket. So this guy right here calls himself the Republican Messiah. Interesting. I call myself the new media Messiah. Philip Grillo, 46, a Republican district leader for Queens Council District 24, who uses the name Republican Messiah on Facebook. Well, we've got to check this out now, don't we? This is the Republican Messiah. Wow. And he uses a clip from Full Metal Jacket to say happy birthday, Jesus. Interesting. God damn. These people are embarrassing. Grillo's Facebook page also touts District 24 as President Trump's hometown district. According to the criminal complaint filed in the U.S. District Court in Washington, D.C., authorities were able to identify Grillo based on cell phone and security camera footage showing him inside the Capitol building wearing a Knights of Columbus jacket that included the specific St. Anne's Council chapter to which he belonged. That's why I had a conservative friend say, well, if it was an insurrection, it was the dumbest insurrection ever. And I'm like, yes, right-wingers are the dumbest fucks walking the planet. So, of course, they tried to fucking foment a dumb coup. Two anonymous witnesses who grew up with Grillo contacted the FBI and reported seeing him on television broadcasts of the riots. How many of these people were busted by people that were actually part of their lives? That's fantastic. Oh, shit. So yesterday, the Supreme Court cleared the way for
never enough.
The Southern District of New York to acquire Trump's tax returns, marry Trump. Trump's niece, yes. I about called her his cousin. Trump's niece, Mary Trump, was on with Chris Cuomo. This is Chris, right? Andrew's the governor. Andrew's the piece of shit governor that needs to resign immediately. He was on with Chris Cuomo on CNN last night.
Welcome back to Primetime.
Great to be here. Thanks, Chris.
Why doesn't he want people, let alone prosecutors, to see his taxes?
Well, there are a couple of reasons. It's hard to know which is more important to him, but probably the most important one is that he's never actually made any money. And every penny Donald has was really my grandfather's initially. Secondly, he's going to be shown to have been somebody who gave zero to charitable causes. And
scam charitable causes.
The most important one, of course, is that he has most likely been committing tax fraud for decades. So it's a huge victory, I think.
And that's almost certainly what they're going to bust him on.
Cleared the way for New York State to get access to Donald's tax returns. Because
I've said it a million times. If he does any jail time, it will be for tax fraud. Maybe bank fraud. Because he's basically admitted to tax and bank fraud. Devaluing your assets to the IRS to pay less in taxes and inflating your assets to a bank in order to receive more favorable credit and lending. That is bank and tax fraud. And when he fucking admitted to it, there were conservatives who were like, well, he's just smart. I'm like, no, he's not smart. He's committing fraud. You fucking idiots.
Because it's a long time coming. He should have, faced accountability a long time ago. And as we learned from your previous guest, the Republican Party is going to do absolutely nothing to contain Donald, and they're just going to allow him to continue to be the head of their increasingly anti-democratic party that's perfectly comfortable.
It's easy.
Engaging.
Tax fraud is easy to, because like they have his tax returns now. It's easy to nail down. You don't need witnesses. You've got the fucking documents. You defrauded the government. It's easy to prove. That's why so many criminals fall to that kind of thing. And apparently the Southern District of New York has brought in prosecutors that specialize in that.
And counter-majoritarian tactics to stay in power illegitimately.
Well, look, politically, his party has a problem with perception versus reality. In politics, perception can be reality, and that's what they're hoping when it comes to the election fraud. All I can do is present the facts. And to be honest with you, that's an easy conversation. I'm sure everybody will look at it through a partisan lens, but there are no good arguments there. They're easy to bat down. I could do that and my taxes at the same time. But this is different now. When the taxes come out, the perception of a prosecutor can be reality if there's proof. The counter, Mary, is, but he says he gets audited all the time. Wouldn't they have caught him already if he had done bad things with his taxes?
Well, first of all, there's no reason to believe that he actually has been under audit for the last, what is he been saying that for, a decade?
Forever, yeah. He says, I'm always under audit because I'm a strong Christian,
Yeah.
he said.
Sure. But that aside, it doesn't matter what he says.
Also, Mary
Because
Trump is a fun
the IRS
Twitter
knows the
follow.
truth. And pretty soon,
He's very
New
witty.
York, Cy Vance and Letitia James in New York are going to have access to those documents that show what is the case. And as we've known since 2018, thanks to that
But she looks
extraordinary New York
freakishly
Times,
like
article,
Trump, and
by Suzanne Craig and Russ Buettner,
it kind of bothers me.
Donald has been playing fast.
But she can't help that. I feel sorry for her.
Regarding his finances for decades. And it's about time the American people have access to exactly what has been going on and what most likely has continued going on, because let's face it, this is a very long-standing pattern.
Does your lawsuit?
I would say he's gotten worse.
Process.
We're still at the pretty beginning stages of it.
He's been
we have a
emboldened
total of
and has done all
17
sorts of
to get over.
illegal shit the entire time he was in the White House. Guarantee it.
It will be full speed ahead. But the good thing is, it's not just my lawsuit. It's not just Cy Vance, not just Letitia James. My lawyer, Robert Kaplan, has 2 other lawsuits going on. We have potentially an investigation in Georgia.
He's not going to have any money by the time we
I know
get
that
around to
doesn't have do
2024.
with the finances, but what we've learned is that Donald has a tendency to get away with things. So the more we pile on, the more avenues of investigation there are, the more likely it is that we're finally maybe going to get some justice.
What is your sense of?
And as she said, he has a tendency to get away with things, even if we don't get any sort of penalty. He doesn't see a jail cell. He's gonna be broke. Exactly. Right-wingers are fucking morons. Get the shirt from the freaking shop. Just like this moron right here, who is going to be the token black guy at the CPAC convention next week. Got pulled for being a moron over anti-Semitic tweets. Now, I thought when I read this, it'll fit right in at CPAC. What the hell? Of course he had anti-Semitic tweets. He's a right-winger. What do you expect? An upcoming conservative political conference featuring an appearance by ex-President Donald Trump pulled one of its panelists on Monday over anti-Semitic tweets. We have just learned that someone who we invited to CPAC has expressed reprehensible views that have no home with our conference or our organization. This is according to one of the organizers. The speaker in question is identified as Young Pharaoh, a hip-hop artist an online commentator who has dabbled in conspiracy theories. Why don't I like right-wingers? Because they're fucking morons. But dabble in conspiracy theories and anti-Semitic tropes. And their policies don't work. And I've spent 40 years of right-wing policies in my life. I watched it just destroy this fucking country. Reagan came into office. Deregulation, busted unions, lifted worker protection. And what did you get? I can show you the data. I can show you where worker productivity decouples from wages. Disconnect between productivity and a typical worker's compensation, 1948 to 2014. You can see right here in the 80s, the Reagan Revolution. That's at the time when it went from CEOs making about 30-to-1 compensation to their average employee to 271-to-1 of their average employee. You got red-pilled on that by some commie. What? People are not leaving democratic cities and states. If you think people are leaving California, you've been listening to too much stupid fucking right-wing propaganda. California replaces its population. People may move out of California, but people are moving into California because that's where all the fucking economic activity is. You think if Democrats were so intelligent, they wouldn't have trouble getting people to stick around? All the cities are Democratic. I live in the reddest state in the country. My city is still pretty blue. That flag is my own original design that says right-wingers are morons. You can visit the FREAKIN shop below and you can pick up the shirt. I don't know what you mean by successful people. Who gives a shit? Successful corporations. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, if a successful corporation wants to move to a red state because they get some sort of economic incentive, the red state wants to give them fucking tax breaks out the ass, that's on the red state. That's their stupidity. I look like a typical racist hillbilly. I look like a fucking burnout hippie. What the fuck are you talking about? Typical racist hillbilly. That doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know what my loss is. I don't want to work for Amazon. But I mean, as we saw, AOC, she prevented Brooklyn, or she raised a stank about Brooklyn giving out tax incentives to Amazon. They didn't give the tax incentives. Amazon came anyway because they wanted to be in Brooklyn. So, clearly right-wing policies do not work. I will say it every day for the rest of my life. Right-wing policies are doing nothing but funneling public money, taxpayer money, from the public coffers to private corporations. It's a scam. But Mr. Farrow, disinvited from CSPAC. Young Farrow responded by calling the move to remove him censorship at its best from the conservative... conservative... American Conservative Union, whatever the fuck CPAC stands for. Conservative Political Action Conference. Oh, there it was. The Conservative Political Action Conference, better known as CPAC, is a high-profile annual gathering of conservative lawmakers and activists. Young Farrow had been scheduled to be one of 6 people on a panel entitled "Please Check the Number and the Dial. Doubt, Dysfunction, and the Price of Missed Opportunities." Well, Mr. Farrow, you have missed out on grifting on the stupidest people walking the planet. How stupid are they? They are so stupid that they think the snow is a liberal conspiracy. People are burning snowballs on TikTok to prove that the snow is a conspiracy theory, with Texans suffering the effects of a deadly snowstorm, mass power outages, and loss of water supply in the last week. Some have decided to blame the government, not the local state government, for failing to manage the disaster properly or render effective aid. Instead, they are blaming President Joe Biden and Bill Gates for the snow itself, claiming that it's fake snow sent to punish Texas for failing to vote blue.
Hey people, I've seen a few videos where the Texas people are going outside and getting the snow and they're lighting a lighter to it and it's not melting and it's turning black. So I need some of my friends on TikTok that are in different states, not freaking Texas, to go outside and grab some snow and try to light it on fire, and let's see what it does. Because I think...
Yeah, let's see what happens. Fucking TikTok and their music. What? What? No. No, 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 no.
We didn't believe snow would actually do.
These are the dumbest fucks walking the planet. I love this. Apparently, producer Dave told me this has been going on for years. This isn't a new thing. It's true that in some of the videos, no meltwater is visible coming off the snow, but there is a reason for that, and it has nothing to do with artificial weather systems being controlled by global elites. Exposing snow directly to a high heat source vaporizes it, bypassing the liquid stage entirely. You can't see the snow turning to water because it isn't, it's turning to gas. As for the black residue left behind, those are just ordinary particulates that are generated from from burning any fuel I'm not stoned enough for this. Or maybe I'm too stoned, I don't know. I'm all over the place here. We got a caller. Caller, what's going on? You're on the Troll Patrol.
Leave it to Texas to take issue with not being able to light their balls on fire.
I believe I know this voice.
You should by now.
What's going on, Media Winch?
I am on my way home.
I was assuming you were at work since you're not like videoing into the show.
Yeah. Now we got.
Well, you broke up on us there.
Oh, early day off.
You're still breaking up on us. If you keep it up, I'm gonna have to hang up on you.
That's okay. I'm in my car.
Okay. Maybe we'll hear from Media Winch here in just a little bit. I was going to ask her about the previous iterations of the snow conspiracy. Of course, you do not want to eat the yellow snow. That's also a famous Frank Zappa song. Zappa always providing fantastic advice. Today was the... hold on. We have another caller. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Yes, Justin. I just wanted to call and let you know. I was around this snow that was here in Texas. It was fake snow. It's just something you're going to have to deal with, all right? I got to go.
It was freak snow.
No, it was fake, okay? I tried lighting it on fire myself. You couldn't do it, all right? It was fake.
But did you hear the explanation? Like, we just explained it. We explained the science. Aw. Why would he just call to say that? Thank you. Please have your dad add this to the curriculum. There could be other chemicals involved with that. All right, today is the 1-year anniversary of the Ahmaud Arbery shooting. The 3 men were arrested in connection. That was the video, the jogger outside of Atlanta. The men hunted him down, basically. Arbery's mother has filed a civil rights lawsuit accusing police and prosecutors of a cover-up. And if you go to Sean King's Facebook page, he will tell you the entire story about how they had to fight to get those men charged. On the day that marks the 1 year since her son's death, the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, I fuck his name up, has filed a federal civil rights lawsuit against the men who killed her son. Greg and Travis McMichael and William Roddy Bryan were arrested for the death of Arbery after the 25-year-old was shot and killed in Brunswick neighborhood on February 23rd. Prosecutors and investigators have said that race played a key role in the case. Defense attorneys have denied any racist motives in the shooting. So that is going to be a high-profile trial whenever that takes place. I'm assuming it's been put on hold because of COVID. Now, back over the summer, when the George Floyd protests were going on, we had this crazy video of an old man, an elderly gentleman, who was pushed down by the cop. He had one of their helmets had fallen off or something, and he was trying to return it to them. And he took a nasty fall and spent a few days in the hospital. Martin Gugino, the 75-year-old protester who was knocked to the ground by police officers last year in Buffalo, New York, filed a civil lawsuit against the city on Monday, according to court documents. He's also suing Buffalo Mayor Byron Brown, officers Robert McCabe, and Aaron Turgalski, and John Losey, as well as Police Commissioner Brian Lockwood, Deputy Police Commissioner Joseph I assume these are like Italian names. I'm so sorry. My apologies. He fractured his skull when he fell after the officers pushed him to the ground. This southern boy has a hard time with a lot of syllables in names. I do my best, I swear. Earlier this month, a grand jury decided not to indict the officers. The 2 officers do remain suspended pending the results of an internal investigation. So it is surprising that the officers weren't indicted. Now this next video is a BLM protester. This is video just released by Vice News. Vegas Metropolitan Police officers said George Gomez pointed his rifle at them. However, surveillance video provided to Vice News appears to show him tripping and falling without a gun in his hands. So, content warning. I guess I will try to stop it short so that I don't violate Twitch rule. Ooh. He doesn't look like he has a gun in his hand. He doesn't look like he has anything in his hands. He doesn't have anything. So he tripped and fall. He tripped and fell there. That's not actually where they shot him. That's where they shot him. Jesus. Just because he was running from the cops. And they're using that incident of him turning around. They're saying he pointed a rifle at them here. And then the dude comes out, sets his shot. Holy shit. Just a kid running away. That's what somebody brought up, all the people that died in the BLM protest. I'm like, yeah, that the cops killed? So there he trips and falls. Oh, maybe that was the actual shooting. Oh, damn. Fuck. Around 11 p.m. local time on June 1st, Gomez began walking down Las Vegas Boulevard while carrying a legal handgun with a carbine conversion kit, which turns the weapon into a rifle. Okay. Is this the police? The department said the 25-year-old had pointed an assault rifle towards them and that the officers feared for their lives. The surveillance footage of the moments just before the fatal shooting, obtained by the Gomez family's attorney and shared with Vice News, shows that Gomez tripped and fell while running away from the police and doesn't appear to have his legally owned weapon in his hands at the time of the shooting. He was shot moments after he stood up. Jorge had been practicing his constitutional rights according to his attorney. He was walking the streets right where we're standing, protesting police brutality, protesting the wrongful killing of George Floyd. Around 11 p.m. local time on June 1st, Gomez began walking down Las Vegas Boulevard while carrying a legal handgun. Police say Gomez was also carrying a handgun in his backpack, which violates Nevada's open carry laws. After police dispersed a crowd of hundreds protesting earlier in the night, Gomez walked past a group of officers standing at the federal courthouse in downtown Las Vegas. Police say they asked Gomez, whose attorneys say he was headed towards his parked car, to comply with orders to leave. After a brief exchange, one of the officers, who Gonzalez identified as Officer John Squayo, shot 5 non-lethal beanbag rounds. As Gomez fled the non-lethal rounds, Officers Ryan Fryman, Dan Emerton, were driving by, arrived on the scene for a separate call, and exited their vehicles. Police say Gomez raised his gun towards the 4 officers who had just arrived, prompting them to shoot the man 19 times. But new footage from the nearby courthouse shows Gomez tripping and falling as he fled the non-lethal rounds. After he gets up, he continues to run from the non-lethal rounds being fired at him from behind. Jorge is seen running and doesn't appear to be aiming a firearm before collapsing to the ground. But that's not the story police told during a June 5th press conference about the shooting. As they exited their vehicles, Mr. Gomez raised that rifle in their direction. These officers engaged Mr. Gomez, firing several shots and striking him. All 4 officers were not wearing body cameras at the time of the shooting, as they were training staff assigned to the department's developmental bureau. Wow. Police say they were reassigned from their normal duties that night because the department needed as many officers as they could spare to help manage the large protests. Ooh. And the cop was involved in 2 prior fatal shootings, including one in 2016. if any other person other than a police officer did this, that person would be charged and criminally prosecuted for murder. That according to Gomez's attorney, police are not above the law. I like to think that, but it's not true. Police officers know the law, and they're trained not to use deadly force unless they pose an imminent threat. We don't have that in this case. The Gomez family filed a lawsuit against the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and 4 of the officers. So I wish them the best in their lawsuit, and it's sad that it takes a lawsuit to get justice. Now, we have a wild video out of Tennessee. Apparently somebody was beat in the freaking street. So, I don't know if this is a bunch of kids or what. That's exactly right, Jordan.
I gotta get out, y'all.
Dang kids and their loud music. Dude's got some good bass in that car. He's gonna get me a copyright claim, god damn it. So I don't know who's filming this. Hopefully we'll find out in the story here. Maybe I should have gave us some context before we actually watched the video. Content warning, apparently this video is rather graphic. Honestly, like the one union in this fucking country that's actually worth a shit.
If you guys want your fucking car alive, get the fuck going!
Oh! Well, this is a whole... It's a hillbilly gang. God, this dude's got a pipe or something. Shit.
I think it's time for me to go.
Ah! Well, get the dog. Protect the dog.
This is
Don't leave
Tennessee, y'all. That's a cute dog.
Oh, it's Cleveland, Tennessee. That's between Chattanooga and Knoxville. 30, 40 miles north of Chattanooga, maybe. Damn. Go get the puppy, dude. Please go get the puppy.
Cleveland, Tennessee. This is Cleveland, Tennessee, y'all. Dang.
Oh, like what? Does the dude think he's like gonna be on World Star or some shit? I mean, well, shit, I'm sitting here watching the video. Damn, they beat the he is not moving. That poor dude. How many of them are on him? I thought it was like a fair fight there for a little bit, but it looks like it's like all of them against 2. God, he's punching him in the dick.
Oh, shit.
Damn, that's brutal. And then the dude just what? Cleveland, Tennessee.
Cleveland, Tennessee, y'all. Dang. They're all getting jumped.
I mean, he like.
Oh shit.
And he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna get the fuck out of here. A brutal street beating caught on video is now under investigation. I bet Derek Walker took the video and posted it to his Facebook page. Well, was anybody injured? He says the victim called police after the beating ended, and that victim was the only person on the scene when officers arrived. He was taken to a nearby hospital and since released. Investigators still don't know why the teens were fighting, but does say everyone involved knew each other in some way. Oh, we got the winch in Discord. What's going on, winch?
What is going on?
Are you sure you don't want to zoom in so we can see your pretty face?
I mean, I guess we could. You want to go ahead and start one?
I can do that. You can stick with me for the rest of the show here.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here. I'll send you a Zoom link, and we'll have the winch here in just a second. If I can remember how to send an invite. There we go. I'm sure everybody's happy that Meaty Winch is going to be joining us. I think I still have everything set up correctly. It's possible they needed an ass beating, but yeah, it seemed incredibly unfair that there were like 5-on-2, 6-on-2. But I mean, we don't know what led up to that. I was gonna wait on Winch to get in here. Oh, there we go. Media Winch, how are you? Uh-oh, why do I not have your audio? Are you muted? No, that's my fault. Hold on 1 second. All right, talk to us.
Hey.
Hey, Media Winch, what's going on?
What's going on? Share your screen with me so I can see the stuff.
Oh, yeah, I might need to do that too.
Welcome to a production meeting with Justin Freakin and the Media Wench.
As I was getting ready to say, like Dave always says, like you're seeing the sausage made. Yeah, you want that one, I think, right?
Yeah, that's the one.
I think. Did you freeze up on me? What happened?
Did I? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you froze on us.
Can you hear me?
We hear you. Like I just.
Okay, cool.
There you are. The screen share. That was weird.
I don't know.
Oh no. You know what I need to do? I need to give you this. That is what we did last time. Now you should be able to see everything, right?
All right.
Inside Zoom.
Inside Zoom. Zoom problems. You should use OBS Ninja.
Why did I not do that? There was a reason why. I can't remember. Oh, yeah, we do need to get high. We're not high enough for this shit.
Like, do I just automatically take a dab? I'm also lighting some incense because I'm witchy like that.
So thank you for watching producer Dave and I on Ben's stream last night.
Fuck, dude. Oh my god. Like Dave sent me a message. I was looking for an Adrian Curry video to watch because I had gotten my notification in the morning that she had posted her makeup stream or whatever. I'm like, cool, done.
Oh,
And
that's
then
that's the name of that woman you're always watching when I go like she's kind of angry, like she said she did like Hollywood makeup or something, right?
Yeah. It's Makeup Monday. That's with Adrian Curry, the fucking the crazy lady.
And she does some sort of pyramid scheme.
Well, she sells Avon, but she was the season 1 winner of America's Next Top Model.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And but she's gone fucking batshit crazy. So, whatever. But I went to go look and she got a 24-hour post ban on Facebook, so she went over to fucking locals. And so now
Used to be married to the Brady?
Yeah.
Tom Brady?
She was married to Peter Brady.
Oh, Peter Brady. Okay.
Peter Brady. Christopher Knight, yeah. So when she was on America's Next Top Model, and then she was on The Surreal Life on VH1, and then they did a spin-off show because that's where she met Peter Brady. And then they did My Fair Brady, and that was when they got married and shit. And she used to do Comic-Cons and stuff. She was a Twitch streamer too, and she played World of Warcraft, and that's how she met her current husband. He was a Twitch streamer, and they met playing World of Warcraft, and they've been married like 6 years now.
But he does some sort of survivalist shit, right? Or
Yeah.
wildlife?
He does bushcraft stuff. He builds like outdoors. They live like near the Canada border up in Montana.
Oh well, that's not something to laugh at. I thought he was like one of those like doomsday preppers or some shit.
No. They totally are doomsday preppers too. But his Twitch stream.
Okay.
His Twitch stream is called Big Man Outdoors, and he does bushcraft stuff. Like he builds lodges, and he's like seasoning logs to build a new cabin and shit.
Oh, see, that kind of stuff is cool. I can get into that.
No, yeah. I like the one dude that's in like Denmark or Finland or something that's just absolutely silent. He never talks, and he just makes like little fucking cool shit. And I'll send you a link. You'll fucking dig that shit.
Awesome. All right, you ready to watch some videos?
Yeah, let's watch some shit.
All right, I might have to fix your audio when we go over to this screen. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I don't have to fix your audio. Okay.
All right, nice.
So do you know about the explosion in Texas this morning?
This morning, no, I don't.
Okay.
But did you hear about Tiger Woods?
Yes, I heard about Tiger Woods, but like that's not got cool explosion video.
I know, of course, no.
I didn't like. I thought about putting Tiger Woods on the story list, and I'm like, nah. Like I'm all right with Tiger. I got nothing against him. I hope he gets
not at all.
Gets well, but like we got other shit to talk about.
There's a lot of other shit to talk about.
We got video of this insane fucking explosion. A train collided. A goods train transporting petrol has burst into flames after colliding with a. What the fuck is a lorry?
A lorry. It's in Texas.
Yeah, it's in Texas.
Is this a fucking British website?
That's what I was. Oh yeah, it's BBC. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
What the fuck is a lorry? Because the Daily Mail had a better video, but it has all kinds of ads. It's a tractor trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, trailer.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. I had no clue. So we've got video here. This is what the explosion looked like. God damn.
Coal and fuel. Oh, Lord.
Well, at least Texas has unfrozen now.
Yeah, for now.
Thank God nobody was injured.
Yeah, that's hot.
So yeah, that insane
That's hot
flame.
fire right there.
Here's some other pictures. This is smoke billowing.
Oh yeah, okay. This could actually be. Pause it for a second. Can you pause it for a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so this could actually be a good example for the stitch you were watching earlier about the snowballs, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so all of that black fucking smoke is like carbon from like non-efficient fuel burning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and butane lighters and those clicky fucking lighters they don't burn fuel very efficiently. That's why the top of the flame is yellow, because they don't want it to be like a torch. When you have a torch, that shit's blue because it's burning hot and fast and it burns all that fuel off. So whenever you put your lighter right next to a fucking snowball, the water is going to like evaporate immediately, and it's going to leave behind the fucking carbon from the butane on the snowball. And there you have it.
You're lying. It's just plastic snow.
I know, I'm a total shill.
So when did the producer Dave told me that this has been going on for years.
This is years of conspiracy.
When did it first pop up, and what sect of conspiracy theory did it start with?
Alert. It comes from the chemtrails, right? It comes from the geoengineering. So that is, sometimes it ties into like the Morgellons and the nanoparticles and stuff. It's like the fake weather modification delivery system of a cornucopia of things. It's insert whatever bullshit you want why they're fucking doing the snow. But it's like, it's either, weather modification, or it's got fucking Morgellons in it, or it's got like nanobots in it, or...
So are we talking like the early days of like YouTube, maybe in like 2010, 2011, 2012 kind of area? Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while. That's an old one.
That makes perfect sense. All right. So, teacher in Lynchburg, Virginia is in some hot water. Can you guess what she did?
And Lynchburg, Virginia is in some hot water. I don't know, probably something racist. I'm going to go with something racist for 500, Justin.
You are correct!
Yay!
A video of a Lynchburg city school teacher purportedly using a racial slur has surfaced on social media. In the video, the LCS employee can be heard singing along to a song and using the N-word. You want to watch the video?
Yeah, let's do it.
Unfortunately, it's short. Like, we don't get the whole musical performance. Her name is Haley Birch. The news story didn't mention this, but she's all over Twitter. So, here we go.
Because she knows she bad, and she got a nigga. Ah, you said it! Because she knows she bad.
You said it. Don't do that shit, period, but definitely don't do that shit on video.
Yeah.
God damn. Lynchburg City Schools values community feedback and support. We were made aware of the video that is circulating through social media. Per school board policy, all Lynchburg City Schools employees shall engage in activities and behaviors which promote the well-being, blah, 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 blah. This is just pleasantries. They were indeed singing along with, like, am I going to say that I've never sang along and said the words when I'm in the shower and shit?
I cannot say that. Absolutely. I enjoy, and I know this is super terrible, I enjoy rapping. Rapping is super fun. Like Dirtbag Dan, some of his songs, they're like, especially the faster the better. It's one reason also why I love the Hamilton soundtrack, is because it's a lot of it's not like super fast, but it's good shit.
You know, I haven't watched it. I was saving it for I'm going to watch it maybe 4th of July this year or something.
Oh.
I do theme shit all the time.
Oh, honey. If you don't know anything about it, don't learn anything about it.
I know about Lin-Manuel Miranda. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Apparently he's kind of a shit lib.
Is he? Well,
yeah.
He did a lot of fundraising for Puerto Rico, though, and he did the soundtrack for Moana.
That was one of the criticisms of him, was the fundraising for Puerto Rico, was he went there and did this big benefit concert when he had all his bougie friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just heard the soundtrack. I didn't fucking read anything about it.
Okay,
but anyways,
I'm sure the movie is good. And he was good on Curb Your Enthusiasm on his little guest.
He won a fucking Pulitzer Prize for that shit.
I'm not gonna criticize it until I watch it yet. I'm seriously glad you joined me. We got some good videos, but we got a couple of heart-wrenching ones we're gonna have to watch here.
Oh no. Well, we got local love tonight, so it'll curb my fucking enthusiasm for talking about fucking Benjamin Martin, Maskless Moses Martin.
Maskless Moses! Oh goddamn. All right.
The reason why I said it was the video where we're watching him going through Total Wine and More. And I'm like, here comes Maskless Moses. He parts the aisles. No one wants to get in this fucking dumbass way. Parts the fucking patrons like the Red Sea. Look at him getting him out of his way. That's how it started. I just called him Maskless Moses.
He said he was going to give Dave a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, I don't think he meant with his lips though.
Which time did I won the debate against Maskless Moses?
All of the time.
Which time?
Oh, I've got some good ones.
You can head to my YouTube and see 2 of them. Another one is behind a paywall on Patreon because I'm like that.
Or you can watch
which
the VOD
which
from
time did he kick
me?
me out? Like you like that happens every time.
Yeah. No, I plan on going on there again. He can.
Have you popped into his stream?
I haven't yet. I have a whole troop of people lined up that he's not going to recognize every fucking week for the next like 8 weeks.
I love it. Okay, are you going to do next
the
week?
Attention of the wrong crew. He really did.
I watched a little bit after I left last night, and they were like, I threw them off their game, didn't I?
Oh, dude. And then fucking crazy ass Lewis comes in and starts fucking spouting his shit. Yeah, you threw him off. That
dude was kind of entertaining.
That guy's he's doing a lot of telling on himself on what he thinks is a big platform. He's going to end up getting in trouble.
Ooh, I love
practicing
this guy.
Practicing law without a license is very highly illegal.
Yes, it is, and that will get you busted pretty much faster than anything.
Just ask Lynn Wood. No, I'm kidding. Lynn Wood has a license. But why?
Fucking Lynn Wood. You know, like, that motherfucker is accused of voter fraud.
Yeah, I'm shocked. This is my shocked face.
I'll tell you what will not shock you is that delivery drivers aren't fucking paid enough.
No, not at all.
The 3rd time since
and this guy's going viral.
And it's all because people don't tip their delivery drivers. Like, how hard is it to throw us $5?
It was an emotional moment. It was clearly raw. That tearful plea to the public posted on TikTok has not only gone viral, it's now led to a wave of donations pouring in for that Uber Eats delivery.
Good.
The video was shared on Twitter and caught the attention of the Seattle Sounders. And then the team saw a fan struggling to survive this pandemic, and they decided to make a sizable donation.
Oh, is he wearing their team jersey or something? I didn't.
Driver today. Q13's Aliana Gomez has more on his emotional journey.
Yeah, Matt and Jamie, the power of social media, as we've seen the highs and lows from it. But here we find a happy.
But we shouldn't have to depend on social media to make ends meet, to be able to survive.
That took 45 minutes of his time. The video, he says, was posted.
This is another one. This is called perseverance porn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard that term before?
I haven't, but it makes
a week
perfect
is
sense.
all
Yeah,
it
I
took
get it.
for that video to change his life. The Seattle
So
native.
yeah, instead of talking about these systematic changes that need to take place in order to make sure this doesn't happen, they're framing it as, it's individual responsibility, kindness and charity, blah, blah, blah. This isn't a heartwarming story.
Yeah, really, this just makes me want to game the system and try to get fucking Echoplex to go viral somehow like that, Because I'm a fucking, I'm a social engineering freak like that. I just am.
And before you knew it, Riley Elliott's video had 3.6.
I mean, if we just keep fucking around, we're gonna go
along
viral.
with tens of thousands of likes. In total shock, the response. He says he's received $50,000 in donations, 15,000 of which he says.
I'm happy for him. I hope he buys himself a car or something.
Now, what he describes next is exactly why he says gig workers need better wages.
When I accepted the order, it had been after about an hour of declining lowball offers, and spending an hour not doing anything is actually costing me money. So just out of sheer frustration, I accepted it, and then to go through the whole thing and end up losing money on it, because I had to pay for parking and the tip didn't cover parking, and what Uber paid me.
Oh my God.
Gas and time and all that.
So let's put it in perspective here. Those lowball offers he was talking about were $3 orders. He ended up taking a $5 order and had to pay $3 in parking just to deliver it. So there you go. A week ago, Elliot didn't know where he and his fiancée would be living because they were recently laid off too. Elliot is also sharing his frustrations with Uber, saying the drivers just don't make enough money, and while the company banks millions of dollars in revenue.
No, they don't.
Started a GoFundMe page for other struggling delivery drivers.
I'm glad that he is taking initiative like that to try to help others. Tell us a little bit about, like, you guys had some legislation come up and Uber fought hard to make sure it didn't pass, right?
Right. It was to, if I remember correctly, it was to make or to require driving gigs like Uber and Lyft and stuff like that to provide healthcare and paid time off. Just like regular.
It was to classify them as employees, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, that didn't pass though.
It didn't pass, and it didn't pass because most of the gig workers really advocated for it to not pass because it was very flawed. And also, Uber and Lyft were just going to completely shut down all of their services in California otherwise.
Oh, really? So they would just take that loss in the market.
Yeah, they would just. Well, it was also because I think that it was going to make it so that I can't remember exactly how it went down. It was either something that Gavin Newsom had signed that was going to make them have to close down if they didn't comply, or if it did, I don't know. It was some weird thing. But anyways, yeah, the end result was going to be that Uber and Lyft were not going to be able to or not going to provide services in California anymore.
But I feel like in the absence, something else would have popped up.
Right. I mean, everybody would just go back to using a taxi, I guess.
Well, no, there would have been some other food delivery service that had employees that just operated in California. That probably would have been a good thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So there's been grocery delivery out here in California for a long time.
Well, you would like
the early 2000s.
But I like my hometown of Pikeville, Kentucky doesn't have like Uber Eats or what Grubhub or whatever. But
no,
they
like
have,
even Reading.
But they've had a local alternative pop up that takes orders like from its cell phone and shit. Something would happen in California if Uber wasn't there.
There's a couple of those in Reading. There's one called Entree Express that does service in Reading, and I think finally DoorDash ended up expanding to up there. Because Reading, even though it's kind of like a larger size city, it's pretty remote. It's it's the magical fucking spot that's 3 hours from any other fucking civilization, so it has none of its own.
Tractor Supply does its own delivery? I did not know that. Tractor Supply, I did not know how. They're like doing gangbusters in the economy right now. And I had no...
Tractor Supply kick ass.
Yeah, I had no clue that the store was that prominent.
That's like the secret place to go get fucking meds when you need to fix your fucking fish tanks.
I don't have any fish tanks, but if I ever do, I can imagine what the cats would do. Look at them like they're dinner all the time. All right, we've got another one of these hard to watch videos. This is a Domino's worker.
Or delivery. I don't want to work here anymore! 5 minutes! 5 minutes out there in the rain! And no tip! No tip! Holy shit. What the fuck? No! Bro, just calm down. You only gotta take one more delivery. I don't want to work here anymore!
So apparently he had made a delivery in the rain and didn't get any tip whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just horrendous.
Yeah.
I am an advocate for always tipping your driver. All right. Now this is the fun shit that I have. I'm glad I have you here for. Coming to us from the Blaze. Yale students enthusiastically sign petition to repeal the Constitution.
Ami,
the Glenn Beck segment.
To sign a petition. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I wasn't smart enough to get into Yale, unlike you. I'm kind of proud of that, actually.
Yeah,
now,
good for you.
You know, your segue was perfect into what we're talking about in freedom of speech and why. Why are we now in a situation where people don't have any care at all about freedom of speech? And the reason because they don't have any fidelity to our fundamental principles. So I wanted to prove that. And how do I prove that? You know, I sit around, at home drinking some scotch and having a cigar and thinking about what wild.
I always at least tip like 25%.
This is the time I looked at it and said, I went too far. There's no way I can go
like the minimum
on the campus of Yale University with a hidden camera and have a petition for the students to repeal the entire Constitution. There's no way they're going to go for that. That's too crazy. That's going too far. But my friend Glenn...
Well, it depends on how you frame it.
They surprised me in the negative. And in fact, I went there and I told them, this is a petition to repeal the entire U.S. Constitution. It is a document of racism and oppression and hatred. And I hate to say it, but 65% of all the students who stopped me...
How many?
65% of the students who I engage with signed this petition. And not a single student looked at me and said, are you crazy? Are you insane? What is this? Not one.
You can't do parody anymore. You cannot do parody anymore.
Yeah, you can't do parody because right-wingers are such fucking morons.
The Yale student that said, what's the Constitution? How'd you get into school? Any school? How'd you get out of any school? Ami, I
guess this is just the interview. Let's see the actual students on the campus. Okay, here we go.
Do you feel the Constitution has any?
So now, what do you think he does? What do you think we're gonna see here?
Oh, he's gonna pull some fucking Caitlin Bennett shit.
Do you feel the Constitution has any relevance to you at all?
I mean, when you put it like that, to answer that question, no.
I'm Ami Horowitz, and I'm here on the campus of Yale University, where the students are our future thought leaders. The U.S. Constitution is the
that sounds
of
plausible.
Our rights and the foundation of our freedoms. Or is it?
That's what I can't wait to see what kind of context.
To repeal the Constitution of the United States. So what I'm calling for is to repeal the Constitution. To repeal the Constitution of the United States. Just get rid of it in its entirety.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
It's an interesting proposition for sure. Very in support of your energy and your mission. I mean, that sounds cool. Yeah.
I like it. That's neat.
That's awesome.
Very in support of your energy and your mission is like the polite way of saying, nah, you're full of shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And this is awesome. These are really weird cuts right here.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
It's an interesting proposition for sure. Very in support of your energy and your mission. I mean, that sounds cool. Yeah.
I like
that. Sounds cool. I like it. That's neat. Like, those are all little clips. I wondered what they were responding to.
It was created in a racist and white supremacist context.
Do you agree that it's kind of a racist document at this point?
It is.
I mean, it is a racist document. The 3/5 compromise is in it.
Do you feel it disenfranchises black people?
Yeah.
The Constitution?
Yeah. I think this whole country is good though. No, I'm with you.
It's a white supremacist document.
No, I definitely agree. Yeah,
Very much drafted in white supremacy and debate everything that you said. I agree with.
This music under it is killing me.
You know,
Raise from the ashes. Yeah, honestly, yeah, we're at that point.
Don't forget to vote.
Oh, so they're all saying like, oh, we put a new constitution in place.
I mean, when you put it like that, to answer that question, no.
Do you think the Constitution has any relevance to you in your life? Anything in it?
I mean, I think it's I don't know. I don't know.
There's no freedom, so to speak.
In the Constitution.
Are you Army her?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
This guy did not sign my petition.
You're all signing.
Thank you.
Shocker.
Sure, why not?
Thank you. 65% of everyone I spoke with signed my petition.
Probably just to like appease you and get you out of their
United
face.
States of America.
I'll sign.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
I don't trust this at all.
Thank you.
Sure, man. I mean, I agree with you.
I mean,
I wish you the best of luck.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. This woman was sitting around all day trying to get people to sign up to vote. She didn't get a single person. Considering what we just witnessed, I was thankful.
Lord.
Yeah.
All right, Justin. I'm gonna jump off of here, but I will see you later. We're doing local love tonight at 8. So come
No.
here.
You gotta do one more with me because you won't watch this. You want to see Maxine Waters talk to Megan Thee Stallion, right? About what?
Okay, I got like 1 minute.
Maxine Waters, the senator from California. No, she's representative. Sorry, from California. Talking to Megan Thee
I
Stallion.
kind of paid attention to that, but then they told me to look at was it what? And I did. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. And here's what I said. Now that's audacity. That is audacity, and that is the ability for women to take charge of what they want to say. Because as I said, I had paid attention to the young, gangster rap time when, men were in charge. They said whatever they wanted to say. They said whatever they wanted to say about women, what have you. But women, didn't say.
Maxine Waters so
For a
cool.
long time. What they could say or wanted to say or dared to say. And so I thought that's audacity. So I'm with you. I'm fine. I have no problem with that. The genre as it evolves. And from the time that.
So Maxine Waters has no problem with that wet ass pussy.
Nope. Cardi B would approve.
All right. Thank you, Media Winch.
All right. I will see you later.
Yes, and everybody should go follow Echoplex Media. Check out. Oh! I didn't do that right. There we go. Act like you know. All right. Bring it on home here. With as much as we criticize Biden, there's one thing you can't criticize him for. He's got some awesome looking dogs. And they took some flack last week. Apparently, right-wingers said, I think it's Champ. Champ looked dirty. Right-wing outlets had the audacity to fucking run with a story about a dog looking dirty. Simply appalling. This was Biden photographs of the first dogs, Major and Champ, inside the White House. I like to do pet stories to end the show. I'm kind of pet crazy, but we're actually going to end on newly released audio from fucking Mars. NASA has released the sounds of Mars. Honestly. And I saw the photo and the dog didn't even look dirty or anything. Guys, that's what it sounds like on another planet. That shit is crazy to me. One more time. It does indeed sound like wind on the microphone, which is interesting because, you know, there's no wind on Mars, right? Is that correct, or is there some wind? I wouldn't know how that works. There's not weather on Mars, or I guess there is some weather. Holy shit. I've never even thought about that. Because they have storms on Mars, don't they? I'm going to have to look this shit up. There's no wind there. Okay. It's Jupiter that has, like, storms and shit then. So I don't know them, but NASA says that's the sound of Mars. Who knows? They could have been faking it. They faked the moon landing. You think they actually went to Mars? Come on. All right, that'll do it for me. If you are on Twitch right now, I'm going to send you over to SJW9000. Fuck yeah, Space Ghost. I watched some Space Ghost just the other day. I'm glad you brought that up. One of my favorite shows. So go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol. Live.